Hello, everybody. I'm Jabby Kaway, joined by Steph Sabra.
Hello.
What up, bro?
What up?
We are watching Barbenheimer, a pitch meeting from Pitch Meeting's YouTube channel. Thanks so much for joining. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button, please. Bell icon, all notifications. Vote this up. Let YouTube know you're enjoying what you're watching. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to Pitch Meeting as well. There's a link in the description below. You can click on that link, give the original video an upvote, and subscribe to them from there. Just as a important preface, because the WGA and SAG strikes are still ongoing, I just want to make it abundantly clear, this is not a promotion of Barbie or Oppenheimer. This is our critique analysis of a critique analysis by Pitch Meeting. So pretty, like 2 steps removed. Anyway, let's check this out. Here we go.
So, you have a movie for me? Yes, sir, I do.
Wait, why are there 2 of you?
Oh, well, we got to chatting, and we have a very exciting once-in-a-lifetime double feature opportunity here. 2 absolute blockbusters.
What are you talking about?
Well, my movie's about the popular kids doll Barbie, and mine's a historical drama about J. Robert Oppenheimer, father of the atomic bomb.
Okay, first of all, you guys have chosen some misleading shirts for this pitch meeting, and second, that Oppenheimer one doesn't really sound like a blockbuster.
Christopher Nolan would be directing.
Oh, okay, there it is. But how is this a good pairing of movies?
Well, we got to talking and we realized our scripts are basically asking the same question, which is, what if man has too much power?
Oh, I thought we said, what if men have too much power?
That's basically the same thing.
Wow. So anyway, tell me about these movies. Let's start with the depressing one.
Wide
scale.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that similarity was there. Well, thanks, Ryan George. I didn't actually ask you, how did you feel about Oppenheimer and Barbie?
They're both just excellent.
Both perfect, 10 out of 10.
Kind of. Really, kind of, but I obviously liked Barbie more. But I know it's not a comparison. But I do think that they beg the same question of, Ryan George is saying, what if men have too much power?
Right.
I think one is more like the social construct of it, and one is more the actual act of it.
Both are acted out. The patriarchy takes over Barbie land.
Right.
I don't know if you know.
Yeah.
Just for a little bit. Just for a little bit.
Let's start with the depressing one.
Wide-scale death depressing, or Hollywood only making movies based on existing intellectual property with a proven track record of financial success depressing?
Let's go with the second one.
Well, the
Hilarious.
movie's gonna follow a Barbie girl in a Barbie world, right? And let me tell you, life in plastic, it's fantastic. Can you brush her hair and undress her everywhere? Oh my God, what?
What?
What kind of movie do you think I'm pitching you?
No, it's Barbie Girl.
Yeah?
By Aqua.
All right, my name's not Aqua, and I'm not going anywhere.
Never mind, I apologize.
Disgusting. Disgusting. So anyway, one day while Barbie's having a big old Barbie party in Barbie land, she's gonna start thinking about death.
Oh my God.
And then she gets flat feet and cellulite, so she's like, something is off here.
Okay.
So with the help of this weird Barbie, she's gonna go through a portal into the real world, and Ken's gonna come along for the ride.
Oh, and what's the real world like?
Sometimes it's like the real world, and sometimes it's like a magical cartoon.
Oh, fun.
And so Barbie's gonna head to the Mattel offices, and turns out it's just run by a bunch of buffoons, and also like just men.
Very funny.
Yeah, this is gonna be a big middle finger to powerful executives everywhere. Hey, what's up? And so this is gonna be kind of Mattel acknowledging the role that Barbie has played in like creating unrealistic body standards for women. And also saying that actually Barbies aren't really about that, they're actually empowering.
How's that gonna work?
Well, the best way I could describe it is that our partners at Mattel like eating cake, but also they like having cake. So if there's a way to do both of those, they'd just be thrilled.
Oh yeah, I don't see a problem with that. Why would that be a problem?
Yeah, it'll kind of be like any harm that they've caused in the past wasn't so bad because it wasn't really intentional. They're just kind of silly.
We should get Will Ferrell to play the head guy. People can't hate Will Ferrell.
That's a good plan. So anyway, in the real world, Ken is going to stumble upon the fact that the patriarchy exists, so he's going to think that's pretty cool and bring it back to Barbie land.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so while the Barbies were in charge of Barbie land before, now the Kens are going to be in charge, and main Barbie's going to have to go restore the natural order.
Gotcha.
And so that's really going to let us drive home this message in the movie that the patriarchy is kind of messed up for women.
Good message, sure.
Yeah, the patriarchy, no good. Not good at all.
Totally hear you, absolutely.
Very unfair system for sure. This whole patriarchy thing, it's bad. It's not good at all.
That's...
And if you really think about it, the patriarchy is actually, it's not a good thing.
I feel like you've gotten the point across.
It's just not really fair, is it? The patriarchy, I mean. Yeah, no, I understand and agree. Patriarchy, more like not good yarchy. Am I gonna get in trouble if I say, even though I totally agree with the message, this is kind of a lot?
Yeah, probably. Hey, check this out. What are you doing?
Did you just literally hit me across the head with the message?
I did, yeah.
So the last chunk of the movie is going to mainly focus on that and be...
I need a second. Oh my God. Oh God. You didn't like that? I thought that was hilarious.
No, I get why he did it. It's like the easiest point to punch.
At Barbie or from Barbie?
From Barbie. I
Yep.
feel like that's the easiest critique to make. If you look at any movie who has a central messaging, you're going to get the central messaging throughout the movie. I just think because it's one that's very personal to people for a lot of reasons, it could feel like you're getting yelled at the whole time. I don't know. I just thought it was really well balanced.
Did you just literally hit me across the head with the message?
I did, yeah.
So the last chunk of the movie is going to mainly focus on that and be mostly talking.
Samesies, mostly talking. Okay, so tell me about this Oppenheimer one.
We've all seen the epic stuff that Nolan can do with stuff like sci-fi and superhero films, right?
Yeah. So just imagine what he can do with
3 hours straight of historical science talk.
well, taking it to the next level of epicness.
Is it though? Well, there's going to be epic music playing under every single word that's spoken.
I didn't realize that. So anyway, with this movie, I think we have the opportunity to give the people what they've been dying for. What's that?
Several J. Robert Oppenheimer sex scenes.
Oh, finally. Father of the atomic bomb. More like father of a child who got by hooking up with a married woman. Catchy.
And that famous I am become death quote, he's gonna say it well banging.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's just fan service at this point.
Yeah.
So what else happens in the movie?
Well, we're gonna kind of intertwine several storylines because if I...
Oh my God. Oh my God. That's right. That's such a famous quote of Oppenheimer's. I was a little bit thrown when I realized he was saying it in the middle of a sex scene. I was like, wait, what? Like, that's not what I was expecting at all.
Several storylines because if I wrote this in a linear way, Christopher Nolan would find and murder me.
That makes sense. So what are the storylines other than his love life?
Well, there's gonna be the whole Manhattan Project, right? He's gonna find and recruit scientists like he's planning a heist in a Guy Ritchie movie.
Okay.
There's gonna be this whole hearing to maybe revoke his security clearance during the Cold War, and his wife's gonna kick ass when she's questioned.
Oh, yeah?
Oh yeah, and let me tell you, it's gonna kinda come out of nowhere.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, we're mostly gonna show her being an alcoholic the entire movie, and then there's also this Senate confirmation thing going on.
Who's confirmation?
This guy Strauss, who's been kind of plotting against Oppenheimer and suggesting he's a communist and stuff.
Why is he so mad at Oppenheimer?
Well, because he felt humiliated by Oppenheimer at a political thingy, and then also he thinks that Oppenheimer badmouthed him to Einstein.
And so what happens with this hearing?
Well, he's not gonna get confirmed, and one of the people that voted against him is John F. Kennedy. He's from the next big political period of history.
Yeah, I love it. Perfect way to set up the sequel.
Well-
Oppenheimer 2, The Rise of JFK is tight.
Yeah, I mean, why not keep that door open, I guess? So how do these movies end? Well, we're gonna find out what Oppenheimer actually said to Einstein, and turns out it wasn't about Strauss at all. It was about how maybe they've set the destruction of the world in motion.
And Barbie has a human vagina now.
What?
She's got a human vagina now.
So she's got to get that checked out, professionally. It's important to get that checked out by a professional, vaginally speaking.
Please don't say vaginally.
Vulva. So we think people will leave these two movies feeling, a sense of girl power and a healthy dose of nuclear holocaust dread. I still think it's going to be hard to convince people to go watch both these movies on opening weekend.
Actually, it's going to be super easy. Barely an inconvenience.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we just got to come up with some
Catchy thing combining both movie names and make that blow up on social media.
And you have a name? We do. Let's hear it.
Well, we were thinking Barbenheimer.
Oh my God, what?
We'll workshop that.
What part tickled you such?
Oh, this is great. This made me happy.
Yeah.
This made me very, very happy. I mean, he pointed out a number of the things that both films, in both instances, I loved the filmmaking of the movie. Like, I thought it was stellar. Barbie, for instance, the music scenes were awesome. The set design was great. The acting was fantastic. The message was kind of beating me over the head while watching the film in a way that it wasn't at all subtle. And that was my one thing about the film. It was very, very preachy at my face. And I'm like, okay, calm down. Like, I thought I was getting escapism here. The idea that Barbie is dealing with mortality at all, even if it is vicariously through someone who used to play with her as a doll, like, that story was intriguing to me. I thought that was actually kind of cool. The idea that she's going to go to the real world and try to help out this former little girl as a grown-up, and like kind of combat whatever, adulthood. I thought that was a neat idea. It's just that it went really, really far in the direction of, also, men are terrible or whatever, and it did all these things, and I'm like, okay, calm down. Like, I like the fun part of this. You need a basis of reality to work with, to play off of. It started to venture really far into cartoon territory, especially with Will Ferrell, and I'm like, what is going on at Mattel? So when people ask me, did you like it? I go, well, I felt like I saw a fantastic film and a terrible film at the same time. And so for me, it was like kind of mid just because of that. It's like that's the average of the two experiences I had at the same time. It was like, it felt a little long. For Oppenheimer, it was a situation where I loved the acting. I loved what it was talking about. I'm a big science nerd. Not nerd, but I'm a fan. I shouldn't say nerd because I don't know shit about the specifics. I just really appreciate it and space and all that stuff. I appreciated diving into this part of history that I think we should all know more about. And it was cool to see what Oppenheimer went through. However, I felt like 3 hours of that was not necessary. It was like, this is a long movie. I felt like you should have covered in that film some of the fallout of what had happened to America, to American citizens. Because after that blast, a lot of Americans were negatively impacted with their health because of the fallout from the nuclear wind. And I'm like, why wasn't that talked about at all? Like and it didn't go into the psyche of the guy who dropped the bomb. It's like, it just was very selfishly focused on Oppenheimer and his experience and his reputation, all that stuff. It's called Oppenheimer. I get it. I just thought it was an opportunity to cover other things because this is going to be the definitive movie for that era for years to come. And so if that's the case and you've got that responsibility as Christopher Nolan, I feel like it's part of your responsibility to also consider like what you need to also share because he's talking about the consequences. Like that's part of the consequences. Anyway, I've rambled too long. What's your thoughts?
I'll talk about mainly there's two movies premiering on the same weekend, Barbenheimer. I just think it's such a cool thing that they didn't really compete with each other as much as uplift each other, and you don't often see that in the movies, and we don't often like talk about them as kind of these separate entities that are combining for a future in the sense of the theater industry. And like we've been so afraid just as movie TV lovers about what's going to happen, especially during this strike, and what the future actually looks like with streaming and everything. And it's like, it makes me sad to think that if there's a day without theaters and a day where we're not going. And I think it's so cool that we got two completely different movies that got people in the theater for a double feature is crazy. And both of them are just really well done films.
Yes.
So I feel like it gives you hope in a lot of ways for the film industry, even though it came at, ironically, but maybe unironically, came at such a time in which the film industry is really needing hope.
I enjoyed watching both of them. I thought they were both fantastic film theater experiences. Barbie more so than Oppenheimer insofar as it was concerned with the audience. Like the audience experience of Barbie, it was like going to a concert. It was pretty wild. I was surrounded by women and gay men. It was pretty crazy. Just like the cheering going on and the clapping and everything like that. It was a pretty wild experience. Oppenheimer was a great theatrical experience for the most part. I didn't like the switching of the format too often. It was
I didn't either.
It was like going between proper IMAX and then 70 millimeter. I'm like, you could just do away with I love IMAX, but like, god dang it. Like when it was switching between it too much, it was just irritating at a certain point. I still really enjoyed the film for what it was, both of them. I'm glad that there is a female helmed film that is gonna hit $1 billion. Like finally, I thought Wonder Woman was gonna do that. I'm happy about all that stuff. I have my caveats, strong caveats for both films. Anyways, I feel like we could talk a whole podcast about this. So you guys, thanks so much for hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Subscribe, bell icon, all notifications. Vote this up. I'm Jabby Kawai. This is
Seth Sabra.
Peace out.